Hi, Jessica here. Welcome back to MyTransgenderNation. Today, I have for you my top 7 tips on how to start your transition. And this is based on my experience and what I think would be helpful to others, and I hope it is. So take it with a grain of salt if you want, but I'll give you mine. So let's start with number 7. For me, I think number 7 should be get a therapist to start with. For me, having that therapist, somebody to bounce ideas off of, somebody to confirm what was going on in my head, was extremely helpful. So many times I've read online people's stories that just had no clue whether or not they really were trans. They had no confirmation of it. And they're asking advice just from random people that they don't know on Facebook or other avenues online. I just find that to be so wrong. Get professional help. And there's so many avenues for that. If you can't afford it, there are not-for-profits that will help in this regards as well. Get someone to talk to that understands this area of expertise and can be your advocate. And I think things will go much better for you if you do that to start with. Number 6, make a plan. Once you've confirmed that you are transgender and you've decided you want to transition, there are so many things to think about. And just winging it is not going to go really well for you. I think I spent more time with my therapist once I got past just reconciling the fact that I was transgender. We spent more time planning than almost anything else for the longest time. And as we were planning, we were doing things, and I'll talk about the other things, but the number one thing we were doing was planning. You got to plan when you're going to transition. You're going to plan how you're going to come out to those in your lives. You got to think about what's going to happen with your job. Is it going to be a problem? Are you going to be able to continue your job? How are you going to have surgeries? Are you going to go on hormones? What are all the things you're going to do? When are you going to do them? Are you going to one day just stop being a guy and start being a girl? Are you going to do it sort of slowly and maybe live an androgynous life for a while as things change in your life and maybe your hair gets longer and maybe changes happen to your body from hormones? So these are all things you should plan. Plan first and then start doing. It'll go much better if you do. So once you've made a plan, I would say as soon as you can, get on hormones. You don't have to transition and come out immediately. I think I was on our hormones, probably 4 or 5 months before I came out to anyone, other than my therapist, of course. So you can do that way in advance. So, get the hormones going because they take a long time. They don't, it's not an instant change once you go on hormones. So take the hormones as soon as you can. That's my advice. Next, also important along the same lines, would be number 4. Get electrolysis or laser going as quickly as you can. That also is a long process. And if you have dark hair, you can do laser. But if you have light-colored hair, red or silver-colored hair on your face, you cannot do laser, and you have to do electrolysis. So, and laser can be done. I know I did laser on my body where I had dark hair, and I think that was approximately 6 sessions that I needed. I don't know if that applies to the face with laser as well, because I never got to do laser on my face because I had lighter colored hair and red and gray and everything else on my face. So I really had to do electrolysis. And I never finished electrolysis. I'm at the point now that you can't tell I have a beard. And maybe by 6 p.m. at night, if I shaved at 6 o'clock in the morning, I can feel it on my face, but you don't see it. And and it's just so expensive, so time consuming. I got to a place where I didn't mind shaving it off and you couldn't see it. And that was good enough for me. Eventually, I will go back and finish my electrolysis. I have a great electrolysis person here in Connecticut. So eventually I'll do that. But I've got it to a point where you don't notice. And I've done so many other things and wanted to spend money on so many other things. I got to a place where it's like, that became secondary for me. But getting it started and getting to a place where at least you can't tell you have a beard, you're going to want to do that. So do that as soon as you can. Number 3, think about your wardrobe. So, as I said before, are you going to transition like one day you're a guy and next day you're a girl? Are you going to work into it? That's how I did mine. I just said, okay. I told my family, I told my employees, okay, come next Monday, I'm coming in as a girl. So there was no gradual jump into it. And I had been dressing in private for a while, so I did have some clothes, but I didn't have a wardrobe, And once I decided to transition, it was like, okay, I can't wear all these boy clothes anymore. There's so many things to think about in your wardrobe. And that could be extremely expensive. Thrift shops, great way to get started. Great way. So you have to think about all the things you're going to need. You're going to need everything. You're going to need t-shirts. You're going to need, bras. You're going to need panties. You're going to need pants. You're going to need tops. You're going to need skirts. So you have to think about all these things. But in addition to just the fact that you have to get the clothes, you have to think about what your style is going to be. What's you? And that can be an interesting thing to try and figure out. I know and I've talked about this in other videos, I know from watching what other people have done and what they show online, it's like, my first thought is, what were you thinking? Did you think about this first? And I understand for, especially for older people that are going through this, that they missed out on being a teenage girl, but you're not a teenage girl. Granted, you can dress younger and get away with it, but you need to be smart about it, I guess is my point with that. And you need to figure out what your style is. You're doing this for yourself, so you got to figure that out. What do you like? What I did was, my whole life I lived in the shadows watching women, so I kind of had a really good idea of what my style was just from watching women for so long through my life and paying close attention to how they put themselves together and what I decided I liked on other people and what I didn't like. So I kind of developed my style over a long period of time by paying attention to others. So start by, looking at people's pictures or videos and how they dress and imagine yourself. Is that me? Do I like that? And eventually you'll figure out what your style is. And it may not all be in one area. I think I have sort of a range of styles that make up my style. So figure out what your style is going to be so that you can develop this wardrobe and how you're going to go about it. Because like I said, you're going to need everything. As you're doing all this, you're going to plan your wardrobe. You're going to do your makeup and everything. Remember that don't overdo it. Less is more. You don't need to go crazy on your makeup. You don't need to go crazy on wearing something overly feminine just to prove that you are now a girl and not a guy. Less is more. Figure out how to do it comfortably, and do it with some style. But don't go crazy just to make the point. Don't wear pink every single day. Don't wear super bright lipstick every day just so you can say, hi, I'm a girl. See me? Because you don't want them staring at you. You want them to recognize you as you. So less is more. I can't say that enough. Pay attention to that and heed that warning. It's great to walk into a room and feel comfortable. But if you have people looking at you going, who is that? Or more importantly, what is that? That's not what you're looking for, is it? You just want to be you. So think about that when you put on your makeup. Think about that when you put on your clothes. And my number one thing I think you should pay attention to is to remember who you are doing this for. You are doing this for you. You're not doing this for everyone else. You are doing this so that you can be your authentic self. And it is not important what other people think compared to what you think. Granted, it's nice to have recognition. Granted, it's nice to walk in the room and not be clocked for being someone who is transitioning. But the important thing is for you to be you for you. And once you learn that and pay attention to that, when you walk in a room, even if you aren't the most perfect looking female person in the planet, you're going to do a lot better in that room. If you are comfortable with yourself, you accept yourself, and you're there for yourself. Okay, those are my top 7 tips on how you can get started with your transition. If you want more, if you want some ideas or something, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm more than happy to put something together for somebody, or just talk to somebody and tell them my thoughts on it. I'm no expert, but I've got a good idea. I got a pretty good head on my shoulders, so I'm glad and helpful to be sharing. So let me know if you need something. All right, I hope this was helpful to at least some of you. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this video. If you have any ideas for other videos, please send me a message. Let me know. You'll see at the end here the contact info so you can reach out. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel. And we'll talk to you again real soon. I hope you're having a great day. Bye-bye.